Welcome, friends. It is Podcast Unlocked, the world's #1 Xbox podcast. I'm Ryan McCaffrey, Marty Sleeven.
Hey.
Alana Pierce.
Greets.
So much to get to, and yet so little to get to. Mm-hmm. But those so little things are
super exciting.
So big things.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't follow it. I don't know what we're talking about.
Those are words. A lot coming up today. We've got an interview with Jeff Bartram, who is a name you might not know. He is he's a member of the Xbox community. He's out there talking Xbox a lot. You may have seen him online, but he is a military veteran who works with Operation Supply Drop, which is a fantastic charity who does a lot of video game related things for soldiers, as for a million reasons that Jeff will explain. It was really great to have him come in here. Recorded that yesterday, so we're going to plop that into the middle of the show.
Cool.
That'll be so. The way it's going to go is our blabbering right now, which is what I'm
just this is like Pulp Fiction,
verbal diarrhea. Yeah. And then we'll go into we're going to talk about the Red Dead trailer.
Yeah.
Then we're going to talk about the really one other relevant Xbox news story, which is the NPD numbers. Xbox One doing well again. Marketplace report, Jeff interview, and then after the Jeff Bartram interview, that's when the Gears of War 4 Spoilercast will start. So if you don't want to listen to it, turn off the show after the Jeff interview.
This is very confusing.
Fair warning for everybody.
We don't even know when trivia is going to be.
Oh, that's in there. Whatever. That'll happen
halfway through the Spoilercast.
Spoilercast will be the last thing. So
we got it.
You'll have warning. That's all I'm trying to say. Just shoot me in the head, Marty, please.
When are we going to talk about the Switch? Oh, wait.
You're on the wrong show.
Wrong show.
I'm really interested, though. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I really want to talk about it, but we probably shouldn't.
I know. It's irrelevant.
It's interesting. And moving on.
I like that it's got a very Xbox One style controller. That makes me happy. Anyway.
All right, we covered it.
We did it.
We did it, you guys. Break that segment out. Put it on YouTube. I want to mention real quick the new episode of IGN Unfiltered is up with Vince Zampella, co-creator of Titanfall as well as Call of Duty. So we shot that down at his studio.
Nice.
So take a look at that if you have not already. Would love for more people to give Unfiltered a try.
Does it got any juicy scoops? Did you get juicy scoops?
Couple cool. He said a couple neat things.
Juicy scoops or jupes?
Yeah.
God, I hate this generation. Meaning. Well,
you just hate it's you more hate the two of us.
You're just pointing at me. Does it mean you
well,
just
you're
hate
20.
Me?
Are you still 22?
I'm 23.
See, I think she
Totally different thing.
Yeah.
Also, I'm 30 and I do portmanteaus 100 times a day.
Also, most of my vocab comes from Marty. So, except spoops, that was me, and he stole it.
Well,
I'm
sorry,
gonna
Ryan.
walk by the fact that she said vocab. I'm gonna just barrel right past that.
It's Foster.
She's a very busy 23-year-old.
efficient.
We said we needed a very efficient show. No derailing, no sidetracking.
And here we are.
And
On
here
a
we
side
are,
quest.
lost in millennial land.
Yeah.
That's
Dang.
you're the best. I'm so happy
Thank
that you're on the show.
No, I know.
You're
I
the
love you
best.
also,
You are
Ryan.
the best.
Mediocre. Just medium. I miss Mitch.
No,
Well,
that's
I
the-
can't wait for you to leave when you don't finish Mass Effect.
Oh, you are so not finishing.
I am 1 hour into Mass Effect.
It's the only hour
I
he's
have
gonna
created
play.
Jane
It's the only
Shepard.
hour he's gonna
Never
I
gonna
went
play more
to
than 1
Eden
hour.
Prime. I played with some bad shooting mechanics, and I haven't kissed anyone yet. I'm going to play more this weekend.
No, you're not.
Probably not.
You're absolutely not.
All right.
Good, solid derail.
Red Dead Redemption 2, my friends.
Yes.
How big a deal was this? Rockstar posted. I actually had to illustrate this to my wife because she was like, "Why are you going in?" So I came into work at 7 a.m. this morning to do a live analysis with Max Scoville,
which is why
of
we're
this
recording
trailer.
a day late.
Yeah,
because we wanted to save for this.
And so I had to illustrate. Like, my wife's like, "Why are you going to work at 7 a.m.?" And I was like, "I'll show you. Well, that might be the best way." So I showed her Rockstar's Twitter feed.
Yeah, I'm
which
looking up the stats.
Sunday
right now.
morning, or as of like last night when I looked, I guess you're getting it now, but it was they of course tweeted. Everyone assumed that Red Dead Redemption 2, or the next Red Dead was their next game. So just them posting a red Rockstar logo, sort of in the the color scheme of Red Dead, got how many likes and retweets, Alana?
207,000 likes, 114,000 retweets.
For a logo!
A red company logo.
On a red company logo. And then the next day, they made it pretty obvious with sort of a chunk of a poster with some character silhouettes on it. How many likes and retweets did that get?
124,000 likes, 225,000. Oh, other way around. Likes, 124,000 retweets. Insane.
And then finally, Tuesday, they went ahead and tweeted another thing with the name of the game, a fall 2017 release date, and how many likes and retweets did that get?
That one's on 149,000 retweets, 208,000 likes.
Name one other company that could possibly that could pull that off.
I was saying
Lady Gaga.
no. I was saying a couple of days ago.
She is not a video game company or a video game.
This made me care so much less about everything else that's coming out right now. Like, they just dropped this, and it's like, oh, Titanfall doesn't seem so great anymore. Like, I was really excited about that, and now it's like,
This is a year away.
Yeah, but it's like
At least.
gets you excited
yeah.
about something else. It's
No,
like a distraction, you know?
Yeah, this week's been like E3 Part 2.
This week has been amazing.
But okay, so I guess first off, Red Dead Redemption 2. What do you think of the name?
Yeah, so people are sort of the chatter both in the office and out online is, oh well, maybe it's a prequel, and I just don't think calling it 2 means it's going to be a prequel.
Very confusing.
I assumed it would be before they called it that.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking it's probably just set in the same universe, technically.
Yeah.
You know, people obviously are complaining that it's not 3 because then they're ignoring Revolver, but I think part
They
of that
didn't make
is
that.
marketing.
Rockstar didn't make that.
They didn't make it, and they don't want people to.
Right.
And
And I know
play
you
it.
could make the argument that they also didn't make
Make
Max Payne, but they still called it
Yeah.
Max Payne 3. But whatever.
Yeah.
Call the cops.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Max Payne had a much bigger name than Red Dead
And
Redemption.
some more substantial history.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we all thought it might be like Retribution or Revenge. I'm totally
Yeah,
fine with it being 2. Also, just because you see GTA 5. I guarantee the next GTA is just gonna be called GTA 6.
I'm on board with
and
that.
I think
Yeah.
it might even be like that, where it's because it's Red Dead Redemption 2. It's still like in the same world technically, but it's not going to be associated with the first game at all. Like,
And I
wouldn't
don't even
mind
want
if there was a
I don't
monster
even want it
cameo.
to be a direct sequel, just because like I want to.
'Cause
I don't
Jack
want it to be
sucks.
too far ahead
Well,
time period wise.
That and
Yeah.
I think Rockstar typically they're the kind of company they make their character development and the sort of I don't want to say chances they take, but the boundaries they push in their storytelling. They always play that up, and
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to want to be restricted by any previous narrative threads. I think I agree. I think it's going to be a whole new cast of
You're
characters
not
that they
going to
can go
want
nuts
to.
with.
I don't know. I don't want to play as young John Marston when I know what happens to John Marston
Right.
as an adult. Like
Yeah,
that
totally.
kind of thing.
He grows up and retires and lives a long, healthy life,
Yes.
and passes away with his children at his bedside in a retirement home.
Oh dang.
Man, I think my version of the game was different.
Maybe I got the secret ending. I don't know.
I guess I played on PS3.
Should have played on 360, Marty.
My main thoughts of this trailer is that it is gorgeous.
Yes.
Also, there's a ton going on. There's like animals fighting each other at one point. There's like a fox fighting something, and
Yeah, and there's a guy coming back to his seeming farmhouse with a dead deer slung
On the
over the back
back
of
of
a
his
yeah.
horse.
So we've got
Yeah.
hunting, obviously.
Yeah.
The stores look really cool.
Yeah, the trailer was a lot like the GTA 5 reveal, which was very much a
teaser.
tone piece,
An
teaser.
environmental tone
yes.
piece, yeah.
But this environment, like this is the first time Rockstar has built a game ground up on new gen hardware,
and
current gen.
you could tell.
And holy crap, you could
beautiful.
tell. And it's not only the detail in the world, but it's like you mentioned the animals and the foliage. Like there's a depth to the world as well. It's not like we talk about open worlds, like size doesn't impress me anymore. It's about depth. And
Oh,
this
totally.
world,
Yeah.
I'm just like, are you going to have all these creatures? Because like Red Dead, one thing about Redemption is that the world at times felt a little empty. Like it was
Yeah.
beautiful, but a little bit empty, and it
Yep.
seems like this rectifies all of that. And like, how amazing is it just going to be to ride out into the wild and see and experience all of this?
Yeah, on that exact point, the lushness of it is what impressed me. I mean, the just huge, tall, thick, dense trees in the forest. Probably my favorite shot in the trailer is, and I missed it the first time through it when Max and I went back. When you see the two characters in the canoe on the river, the mist, the thick cloud of mist
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't
in
in the
notice that.
background.
Yeah, just amazing atmosphere.
But yeah, the sort of light and particle effects
The
look
lighting's
so good
gorgeous.
because you had that mist in one scene, but then in another shot towards the end of the video, there's the train coming through and very thick train smoke billowing out of the engine.
And you had those, you have that oil derrick on fire that just looks ripped out of their early blood, and like oh my god, I'm so on board with all this.
Yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's also like I think my favorite shot was the storefront that just had stuff all over it. It looked really, really messy, like slightly decaying.
Yeah.
It was like, this doesn't look like what we're used to in GTA, but it looks, even the store looks dense.
Yeah. Also, auto pre-order or auto buy for me on dogs. There's a filthy, muddy mutt in there. Just
cute pup.
Yeah,
eyeing
wet,
those,
muddy
eyeing
streets.
those
the birds. Yeah,
that's the best.
Yeah, it looks great. And then we get like a couple. We still don't know. There was narration, right? Sorry,
a little at the end.
Narration.
In the studio, Max and I unfortunately had no audio. We could only
he said
see
something
it.
like, I don't remember the line, but it was something along the lines of like, when it happens, you start running.
Yeah.
And then there's the shot of them all running.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess there's a huge conflict.
So somebody mentioned to me that's the last thing Jack says in Red Dead, which I just don't remember.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah.
So who is speculating is that
Grown-up Jack?
Didn't
Martian's
sound
son?
like
Or
Jack.
I don't know. Yeah.
But also, so this, you could sort of, if you want to make the leap, think that whoever's speaking might be one of the main characters, because the GTA 5 reveal trailer has Michael's narration, correct? Yeah. And I remember when that trailer came out, people were like, "It's Ray Liotta." I was like, "Well, no, it's not. It's a new character."
It's Michael.
Yeah.
Well, and you're sort of making a jump there that's worth discussing, and that's, does this game have multiple playable characters you can switch back and forth from, like GTA 5?
So, I mean, the key art had seven silhouettes that were slowly fleshed in. I
think 7 is too many.
Yeah, I mean, so it's either, are you playing one of the 7? Are you playing all 7? Is the game about killing these 7 people?
That was Max's things. He and I were on sort of in a fun way on different sides of it. Like, I think that's your posse, that's your group, and you will switch between them. And Max thinks those are the villains that are chasing your singular character. Either way could be cool.
You would be one of the group.
Also, you said chasing. I assumed you were hunting them. How awesome would it be if they were hunting you the entire game? If you don't go to a boss battle comes to you.
That would be awesome.
That seems really cool.
That would be great.
Yeah.
What else?
I know Jared was doing. Jared did our full in-depth rewind.
Yes.
And it's very hard to tell certain things, but he said by really quick glimpses of characters and silhouettes, one looked like a Native American and one looked like a woman.
Good.
And so those were his. Again, nothing confirmed.
That was much talked about in the last 2 days here of the 7 characters, whether they clearly figure prominently in the game, whether they are your protagonist or the antagonist, but not one of them was a woman.
Yeah.
And
at first, I thought that like some of them could be. I thought because the first trailer doesn't have a whole lot of detail, the first image. But then in the second one,
the image gets filled in, and it's
it's like facial hair.
70s,
They're totally old dudes. Which I just think it would be very easy to have a female cowboy.
absolutely,
There are tons in history, so
absolutely.
I hope that we see some. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Calamity Jane, Annie Oakley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously they're not going to pull actual people, but have characters inspired by that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see more. Do you know when do you think we're gonna get another glimpse at this?
Rockstar
What did they
is
do
not
with
predictable.
GTA?
We would literally have random mornings where we got in, and all of a sudden at 9 we get new
There'd
screens.
be a trail,
and we'd be like,
screens, which we would do, scramble for.
Yeah.
Was
and-
the first full trailer was at E3, wasn't it?
no, they don't
nothing
do
was
E3.
ever at E3.
Yeah.
With
feel
GTA
like
5, not with GTA 5.
They announced
Nope.
it was totally a trailer at E3 at
You are thinking
Conference.
of the
the remaster.
PS4
Oh, yeah.
That's what
version.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That was at
That was on
the
Sony's
Sony
stage.
conference.
you're
That's
right.
what I'm thinking of. Yes.
And Sony does again have the sort of marketing deal with this. They
Yeah.
put that press release out this morning.
Yeah, they
so-
said certain online things are going to be available
Yeah.
first on PS4.
I
yeah.
like that they also said first because it means not exclusively. I
mean,
really
it's
hate
so-
when
it's-
DLC is locked to a console.
Yeah.
That sucks. So
Yeah, but so they also confirmed that Red Dead Online is probably going to be a prominent thing, just like GTA Online is a giant money-making prominent
Think
thing.
about. I mean, of course, if you're sort of a veteran of just a gaming veteran, and maybe you bought GTA 5 right when it came out, and so you played GTA Online right when it came out, when it was a broken mess.
Yep.
Like it just had a lot of trouble at first. But if that's your mindset for it, you got to flush that out, because GTA Online has been evolved on an almost weekly basis to the point where, I mean, they've got the online heists, which are, if you've never tried
Incredible.
one, you've got to try one. There's I think it's 4 that are in there. They're so good. They're these 4-player multi-stage mega missions that'll take you an hour or more to do with the 4 of you. And yeah, that in an Old West setting.
Yeah.
Maybe,
my only concern with that is that it divides the community. Like, I think there are people who play GTA who will buy Red Dead Redemption 2, and they don't want to take the community away from GTA Online. Obviously, this isn't a perfect parallel, but I remember when Left 4 Dead 2 came out, I was playing tons of Left 4 Dead 1 on PC. Divided the community. It completely split people where we would have preferred maps.
What I would say to that is Left 4 Dead 2 was the one very odd time in Valve history that came out 1 year after Left 4 Dead 1.
Yeah, the only
so
time
that
that's ever
totally happened. It's GTA and GTA 5, GTA Online will have been out for 4 years
That's
by
so
the
weird to think
time
about.
that Red Dead is scheduled to
Well,
yeah.
release. So
Is it going to be fall 2017?
that's
I think yes.
I mean, Max and I were talking about this. It's if Rockstar San Diego is still the lead developer on this. Now, everything Rockstar does these days is a multi-studio collaboration. But Rockstar North leads Grand Theft Auto 5. They're the Rockstars of Rockstar. Rockstar Vancouver led Max Payne. Rockstar Vancouver also did Bully back in the day. So
They're all good games. It's crazy.
they've I mean, state
They've
of
made some
state of
stuff.
emergency, Manhunt. Their track record's not
Yeah.
perfect, but lately their track record's been very good as they've sort of really narrowed their focus to one, mega budget
Yeah.
blockbuster at a time.
Which team made the Warriors? Do you remember?
That's a while ago,
Scotland?
and I don't recall. North is Scotland.
Yeah.
Oh.
Edinburgh.
That's core.
Yeah.
Oh, when you said North, I assumed that you were referring
Rockstar
to
Toronto?
Did they? Okay.
Oh,
That was a
I didn't even
thing?
know that was a thing.
Anyway,
So then that means that I think they only develop online in New York? Is that right?
well, New York is their sort of publishing headquarters. I don't think they do much, if any, core development there.
Yeah.
Like the Housers are based out of there. The PR team, marketing team is based out of New York.
Right.
But I don't.
So it's like how we have a New York office, but all of our writers are Australia.
exactly
Yeah.
correct.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Forget what I was starting to say, but I think we were going on about release date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, hey, they've been. Oh yeah, if we assume that San Diego's leading this and that they started relatively shortly after Red Dead Redemption came out, that means this game will have been in the works for 6 to 7 years, which
That
is
checks out.
a long damn time, especially when you
I mean, that studio's still there, and they have to have been working on something.
and you remember Rockstar. This game will have had effectively an unlimited budget,
Oh, yeah.
unlimited,
As
just like GTA 5 did.
But also,
Yeah.
there will be no publisher pressure to hit that fall 2017 release date. This game will
is
be out when they are
They
ready to
delayed-
say this game is out.
They delayed GTA 4, which was the Grand Theft Auto's debut on what was at the time a new generation of consoles. They said October, which had always been their thing, and they bumped it 6 months to April.
Yeah.
To the end of April. So yeah,
5
you're right.
didn't have any delays, though, did it?
5?
I don't think it did.
Not.
I mean, it
I don't
took-
think there were
I
any
mean, the heists
official
were
It was
delays.
delayed.
almost 2 years after the announcement. Because 5 was
Yes.
announced this week 5 years ago.
Wow,
That's
that
so
long
cool.
ago?
Yeah. And then
Man.
it came out in September 3 years ago.
2013.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally an ode to GTA 5 in that game is still so relevant.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, like the game
I
still...
mean, I've said I think it's one of the top 5 greatest games of all time.
it
I
is
really
on
believe that.
our number one for Xbox One games, isn't it?
It
it get bumped?
just bumped in favor of Inside.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair, I think. Sort of.
I mean, GTA.
Very conflicting.
You could make the argument, but that's what's fun about
No, that's
the
totally
list.
an apples to apples comparison. GTA 5 and Inside?
A 3-hour
similar game.
handcrafted
Yeah.
epic version.
Yeah. Inside's pretty much an MMO like GTA Online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, I play it with my friends every night.
We have gangs. We walk around the city.
You're kind of a gang at the end of that game.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Maybe they're
Easy,
other
Marty.
players.
I just said that. Who knows what that means?
Who knows what that means?
Spoiled Bioshock.
So, Scorpio.
Yes.
Will we be running this thing in 4K when it hits next fall on Scorpio?
So this trailer, Rockstar they never do the CG trailers. These are always in engine.
Correct, and
In-engine.
they claim this was running on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Which they did for the GTA 5
Yes.
trailers as well.
I would almost certainly think this is running on the PS4 Pro.
You would think.
Yes.
Which means yes, I do. I would. I see no world where Scorpio launches next fall and this doesn't have the full support of Rockstar in this game.
I totally agree.
That's
Also
good.
interesting though that
Do you guys think we'll get it on PC?
Eventually,
we still don't have Red Dead on PC.
but it's as Dan Stapleton has pointed out, it's
The
actually
PC man.
it's the
Dan
one
PC
time.
Stapleton.
Yes, Dan, Mr. Anti-Console Stapleton.
I was like, how are you going to word this?
Where am I going with this? Yeah, it is the only major Rockstar release of the last several years to not have a PC release.
Yeah.
Also,
And-
I wanted to because I want all the weird mods. I want to see what people do to the West because like
I want somebody to
Absolutely.
put the Back to the Future 3 DeLorean on train tracks
That'd be
and
so
drive
good.
it off of like that. I need that to happen. Totally. And I want to. In fact, I want somebody to make a mission out of that. I have to steal the train.
Yeah.
I have to get to the train on time, steal the train, stop it, load the car onto the tracks, and push the car up to 88 before. Yes.
I get behind all this.
Yes.
So we're pretty excited about it, huh?
Yeah.
that's great.
And I'll tell you what, I think this game will be such an impact crater. I think it will. This game could push some people over the edge to getting Scorpios, if they, assuming if they got a 4K TV and they might think, oh man, I really want to play that on the new box.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the way for the game to look the way we saw it look today.
Yeah.
It's also just for that game to come out from our perspective is very exciting. So I feel like since I've been working here, which is November last year, there hasn't been a huge game like a Skyrim or a GTA 5. The
You mean
biggest
like
thing,
the actual size of the game, or do you mean like traffic?
No, I mean for us to cover it.
like Pokemon Go for that
Pokemon
2
Go.
weeks was that?
Fallout 4
Fallout
right
4 was-
as you
that's true.
started.
Yeah.
Fallout
Would
4
have been that game.
Yeah, that was amazing. But Pokemon Go, the week that came out and everyone was playing it, was like I basically had to try to do as much Pokemon Go stuff as I could to meet traffic demands effectively. And I'm really excited to see how that pans out over the next
And that's
year
what we were telling you.
for
is
Red Dead.
After GTA 5 got announced, we were pretty much doing that for 2 years straight.
Yeah, it's like how do we meet
And-
this demand?
It was the number one thing on our website
Yeah.
for 2 years straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, it still is. The wikis for GTA are still insanely
Because
popular.
people are still buying it, people are still playing it. I mean, we talked about whenever the last sales milestone was announced for that game, the 50 million thing,
Yeah.
that they got it out at the 1 year mark. The new generation version came out at the 1 year mark of PS4 and Xbox One, and so everybody that's now buying the new consoles, especially as they get cheaper and more people buy the
Pre-bought it.
consoles, you're
Yeah.
buying GTA
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna have incredible legs to it.
Yeah, it's
I'm stoked.
exciting.
I wonder if we're going to see more at PSX in December. If there is this partnership, if we'll see something.
That's a fair point.
Probably.
That's a fair
Yeah.
point. If I'm another publisher, I am gonna make sure that my game is either out in September or I push it to spring 2018, because I would not
Absolutely.
want to have a major release. Let's say Halo's not coming out.
I mean,
but,
we are ostensibly getting a Call of Duty next year.
Of course.
Probably Battlefront
Assassin's
2,
Creed,
probably
Egypt,
Assassin's Creed
right?
Egypt. Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, I would not want to release my $50 million game after Red Dead Redemption. I'd want it out before.
Especially any new IP, anything that doesn't have the,
Yeah. It's crazy to think about, like, if Rockstar had released an open world game this year, Mafia would have been moved. Like, even if they
Yep.
predicted it here, they're like, yeah, no, we cannot release that
Yeah.
there.
Well,
like,
especially because it's the same parent company.
Yeah.
They'd have gone,
yeah, that's
let's
true.
not
That's true. But
let's
it's
not
like,
compete with
That
ourselves
ain't gonna
here.
happen.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, something like the game that would get smothered by it would be something like Crackdown, an open
Ooh,
world
that's-
game
and
without
That is
that.
true.
You make
the
a
core
great
base.
point,
Yeah.
and we and others have kind of speculated that that game. Remember, Crackdown was supposed to have a beta this summer.
Yeah, that was super
It went
fun.
by without a peep.
Is that game even still a thing?
Yeah.
Yes,
It is?
they remember at E3 during the press conference they quietly updated their website and just said, "Oh, fall. It's gonna be out in 2017, not fall 20."
Yeah.
It's
would they
a
do that?
2017 game now.
It's got to, I would love for that to be a summer game.
I completely
That's an
agree with
August
you,
game. Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
you make a fantastic point. Like, I know Crackdown is different than Red Dead, but yeah, it's
I mean, people only
It's-
have a capacity to play so much of an open world thing
Sure.
because it's so
Exactly.
big, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I feel like summer is a really.
But yeah,
good
I
time
mean,
to come
if Crackdown is sort of I know no game is a Scorpio game. They all run on Xbox One, but if it's a Scorpio enhanced title, especially with all that the cloud computing, obviously 4 Scorpios clouded together can render a lot more destruction than 4 regular Xbox Ones
Yeah.
clouded together can do so. So yeah, if Crackdown is a showcase title for Scorpio, they might want to go ahead and ship it in September
Yeah.
and then just be like, well, and then make another PR push
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Scorpio is like, oh, remember that game you bought a few months ago? It's way better on the new system now.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So I have to imagine that GameStop's site was bogged way down with pre-orders on Red Dead today.
Hey,
'Cause
do you like the fact that you could pre-order Red Dead, but you still can't pre-order the NES Classic?
don't remind me. I was really waiting for with the Switch thing
If you
today.
were able to pre-order that.
it before I could pre-order the NES Classic.
Oh dang.
Oh, Nintendo.
Oh man.
On Nintendo, indeed.
So
we
there
should
you
change
go.
the name of NBC to On
On
Nintendo.
Nintendo. It's like Yay Anime, but sad. Oh, Nintendo.
It should be called Switchcast now.
I like it. Jose's not here. We could do it.
Yep.
That's true. You can run,
Chose
just
such a
go
bad
rogue.
week to be out.
Womp womp.
All right.
Womp womp.
We'll be right back. Do the one Xbox news story. Get to Marketplace and trivia. Then we'll talk to Jeff Bartram about Operation Supply Drop stuff. And then your Gears of War Spoilercast right after this. All right. News-wise, Xbox One, number 1 selling console, home console for the 3rd month in a row.
Yeah.
That is got to be making Phil Spencer and the Xbox team feel just really good about themselves, and deservedly so.
Yeah, which
Is
was
it
funny
the-
because when the S got announced, a lot of people were like, "Who would buy this when we know Scorpio's coming next year?"
Turns out,
Turns out a
So
lot
that
of
was
people-
going to be my question. Is it the Xbox One or the Xbox One S or both?
I believe it's
it's everything.
combined. Yeah,
it's
Xbox
totally-
One
it's absolutely
hardware.
combined.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the S was obviously a great move on their part of keeping the price down. I think it is a much more visually appealing console than
It's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
really, they really did a nice job on the form factor. The lack of a power brick, the just very sort of MoMA museum-esque
Yeah.
sort of modern
Subtle.
design to it, and the high def Blu-ray player for home theater enthusiasts. It's the only place you can get one.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if this is going to stay the same for October. I'm curious to see if PSVR moved any PS4 units.
I don't think so, because I think if you're ponying up for VR,
You already have that.
you already have a PS4, obviously, but then, yeah, if you're going to buy hardware, and this is the big question, are people waiting for a PS4 Pro? Is that contributing to the fact that more Xbox Ones? Is it that more Xbox Ones are being sold, or fewer PlayStation 4s are being sold, or both?
And I guess we had Gears, which is the biggest exclusive for either party this fall. I mean,
Yeah.
Last Guardian's coming, but that's not going to sell like Gears does, obviously.
Yeah. And Forza, I would think
Forza,
Forza Horizon
yeah.
3 had a lot of hype.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like I imagine this is going to that the Xbox is going to stay on top for the next couple months until Sony releases something.
Well,
That's what we get to
I think I mean November and December are hands down the 2 biggest sales months of the year, like that physically
Oh, yeah.
that put up the biggest numbers. So yeah, I mean, can Microsoft grab one or both of those
Yeah.
months. That's going to be. I mean, if they get both of those months,
That's huge.
then I think you can really say like, all right, wow, they've got a long way to go to catch up. I mean, the PS4 has an incredible lead.
Yeah.
It's been the sales on it have been amazing, but I think we've got a ball game again if they can sweep the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I also feel like the Xbox One S is the console that people who currently just own PS4s but would like to have Xbox Ones are going to buy.
So that's what I think is happening. I don't think this is we're finally dipping into this new generation. I think you're getting a lot of people
Second
who own
console.
PS4s
Yeah.
to be like, all right, by this point,
Hey,
we have Halo, we have Gears, we have
that's-
Forza.
I think Max might be one of those people. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Max, who hosts our PlayStation podcast, buys an Xbox One
Yeah.
S this year.
yeah.
I mean, that's totally viable. We saw that with PS3 last generation, where the 360 dominated NPD month after month,
Yeah.
and then the PS3 started to sort of
I
show
was
up.
one of those people, right?
Yeah.
I started with a 360 very close to launch and then waited until the Super Slim to buy a
Yeah,
PS3.
I mean the reality is the launch prices of these things are high enough where you usually most people, I think a lot of gamers pick one at first, but then over time the prices obviously come way down, and then you
Yeah.
can afford to go ahead and
both.
snag the other one.
3/4 of the awesome games that come out are eventually on both.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you have that 25% that are exclusives. And that's the thing is, a couple years into a console's life, going back and being like, if you just pick up this fall one of the other one you don't have, like you're going to have this awesome library of games to go back
Yeah.
and play.
And those
with.
games might be discounted
Yeah,
or cheaper
exactly,
now.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The way that I bought the PS3 when I bought one was just that it had like Infamous, Uncharted. It was like it was this bunch of stuff that I had really wanted to play, and they were all really cheap by the time that I
Yeah.
bought them all. I think like the console and all of the secondhand games that I wanted cost me like
Yeah.
$200 or something. It was
Dude,
like it was amazing.
If someone bought an S this fall and was able to play Rare Replay and Sunset Overdrive and
Yeah.
Gears and Halo, it's like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that's,
you're in real good shape.
Yeah, because at that point, it's like, yes, there are enough exclusives to where
That's
I would
probably
recommend this
part of
console
it
to
too, like,
everyone, even if you already have a PS4.
Yes,
Absolutely.
The Xbox One S is very good looking, very compact. It's a nice console, and it's cheap. And then B, there are now enough Xbox exclusives that I feel like most people are going to want an Xbox regardless.
Yeah, the
So
exclusive lineup is fantastic. It has been for a while.
Inside, it's not exclusive
Yeah, as you say,
anymore.
cumulatively now.
Oh, yeah,
it's
totally.
really impressive.
Yeah.
So
I just want people would play Sunset Overdrive.
I know.
No
We
It's-
do our best. I think
We
we bring it up
tried.
literally every week.
Sunset Overdrive, you should play it.
Don't
Go
point
get
at them.
it.
That's rude. Stop it. Put your finger-
Marketplace report. Alana, what can we spend our money on?
We can buy Battlefield 1 and Batman Return to Arkham for $50. What is this side note?
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention this is with
He's gonna read it out loud
Gears
because it's swear.
releasing, and I think Battlefield's part of this. Are you guys as kind of annoyed or unnerved by this recent trend of paying more to get early access to games as I am? Because I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way. Where
Yeah,
you
it's pretty
pay
gross.
$100 for the Ultimate Edition of Gears, and like, well, you can play it early now. Like,
What is
it's
it,
one
4 days early or something?
yeah,
2 days,
yeah.
3?
Traditionally, it's what it was with Gears,
Yeah.
and most games that have done this, it's been about 4 days. And NBA 2K did this.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think. It's almost like you're holding the game hostage. Like, well, if you want it sooner, pony up. Like, well, then guess what? The release date of the game isn't Tuesday, October, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Friday,
Thursday.
Yeah.
4 days prior. Yeah.
It sucks because the game is done and they're not releasing it to everyone, but it's a choice. You don't have to buy it early.
No, but why? I mean, if I'm paying more for the game, I'm fine. Like, give me the statue, give me the extra collectibles, but don't give. Why should? If I can't afford to spend $100 on a game, why should you get,
You get punished.
a jump on leveling up in multiplayer
Yeah.
and all that
It
stuff?
kind of sucks in multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I think that's fair.
Microsoft, stop doing it in first party. Encourage your third parties.
So I also wanted to say, Marty and I played a bunch of Battlefield 1. Really like it.
Yeah.
I really want to try it.
Story's really cool.
Yeah.
And
That-
all the multiplayer stories I've heard seem really cool.
That
too.
makes me so happy. I mean, because I've tried Battlefield campaigns, and with very few exceptions, I've never even finished them because I've found
Yeah,
them.
they've all been
this
kind of crummy
one's-
since 3, especially.
This one's great and very finishable. Why don't we talk about it next week if we all get a chance to play it?
Yeah,
Totally.
that sounds
Yeah.
good.
And Marty and I might be streaming Batman Return to Arkham next Monday as well.
One day at one. Yeah.
So we should be. Digitally, we have Rock Band Rivals for $30. Popico for $7, The
Yep.
Bug Butcher for $10, Death Guard University for $10, and Manual
You
Samuel
literally
for
made up the
$8.
last 4 of these.
Actually, Manuel Samuel, Destin and I both played and really enjoyed the hell out of at
Manuel Samuel.
GDC at the ID at Xbox showcase. It's
Skateboarding?
it's I'm trying to think of the example. What's the octopus?
Octodad?
Octodad. Thank you. Where it's you control everything, every little bit, every body part.
Yeah.
And this guy, you were dead, and Satan's agreed to bring you back or something. And if you can, I figure you got to make it through the day, and then you can come back to life all the way. But you have to control his breathing.
Whoa.
You have to breathe, press the buttons to breathe him. You have to prop him up to make him walk, and it's a goofy physics game, and I had a lot of fun
That is
messing
super
around with
cute.
it.
Yeah.
On Marketplace, we have Dark Souls 3 Ashes of Ariandel DLC as well.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Someone just reviewed that
Yeah, Brendan Graeber.
yesterday.
Chloe, right?
No, Brendan Graeber.
Oh, it was Brendan.
reviewed
Chloe's
it.
in
Okay,
Battlefield 1, yeah. For Games with Gold, October, we have Super Mega Baseball Extra Innings all month long, and The Escapists from the 16th to the 15th of November. Reading the dates is really hard because they're American. On Xbox One. And then MX versus ATV Reflex from the 1st of October to the 15th of October. And I Am
Nailed
Alive
it.
from the 16th of October to the 31st
We will
of October.
Americanize you yet.
It's so confusing to do that. I want to say everything is from the 10th.
All right,
10th of the 16th.
So, we're running out of time, dude. Again, just rampant meetings and such. We'll get to trivia next week. Right now we're going to go to the Jeff Bartram interview, talk a little Operation Supply Drop, and then after that will be the Gears Spoilercast. So stay tuned, or don't, if you haven't played or finished Gears of War 4. Very special guest this week on Podcast Unlocked. I am joined by Jeff Bartram. Now, Jeff is not a developer. He is not anybody you've probably met before. Unless you're in the Xbox community, you might see him on Twitter out and about. Jeff, you are representative. You are part of Operation Supply Drop. You're not only a big Xbox fan, a big video game fan, you're out in the community talking Xbox on a nearly daily basis, if I can get that out, which I apparently can't. But you're involved with the Operation Supply Drop charity. Now, before, you have a fascinating life story, and there's a lot I want to talk to you about, because I think your life and your sort of spirit, your attitude can kind of remind us all of the fact that we're dealing with video games here, and it's supposed to be fun. But I want to first ask you about Operation Supply Drop. It's a charity that I think many of us may have heard of. I know I've heard of it, but I don't know a lot about it, and that is what you're here to talk about. So let's start there.
Well, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate you having me on, and I'm glad to be able to share my insights and thoughts and everything, and I'm excited to talk about Operation Supply Drop. Now, Operation Supply Drop is a veteran organizations, international. We help military families, members, and veterans, and we do that by actually doing a community-based and peer-to-peer. So along those lines, like my job and many of my other leaders, we have what are called team leaders, and we help in the communities. And we basically help homeless veterans that are separating from the military, with PTSD-related issues, with injury-related issues, job hunting, and any way we can help them. And the gaming function of it actually is the supply drops. And supply drops are big crates that actually have video games and things that the units and veterans that are in need. So, and people donate the games, systems, and that stuff, the in-kind donations, and those are what we give out. And then the donations that we receive, we are able to help within the community and help further those missions. And people always wonder, why is my money, what's it going to?
Yeah.
And I always like to tell them 94% of every dollar goes directly to that veteran. And with that we're able to help them at a very, very close level. Around the U.S. and the world, we're able to go out into the town, feed the homeless, get them the necessities that they need, and, we just help veterans. That's what we're about.
Is it? I mean, this is kind of reminding me, is it almost fair to say, I mean this in the nicest of ways, that it's almost kind of similar to Child's Play, the Child's Play charity that Penny Arcade runs, but really targeted at veterans, whereas Child's Play is sort of children in children's hospitals. So similar type thing?
Correct. It's similar type thing. And also, I want it to be known that our mission is veterans and everything else, but also it gives veterans that are having issues, dealing with stuff, it gives them the opportunity to give back, a purpose, to serve again. Yeah. And so it's not only affecting them, but also the community. So I know we're doing different avenues, like we're helping battered women shelters, we're helping, homeless people, we're helping needy people, just not veterans, but the community in general. So like the Child's Play and all that, that's where we at. But we use the gaming as a catalyst as well to interact and bond with each other. So we play games together, we stream together, and it's good because using video games allows us to expand in different reaches, almost like our Respawn program where we help veterans.
Because we'll get into this more in a minute, but you yourself are a veteran, and we here at IGN, we hear from a lot of servicemen and women who are on active duty who there's evidently a lot of downtime depending where you're deployed, and video gaming is a big part of their entertainment while they're deployed. That's fair to say?
Very fair to say, and I know as myself, when I was deployed, I played tons of video games. And with us being able to send these care packages out there, the supply drops, that gives them that morale boost because some units in some areas don't have those type of extras.
Right.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, just make sure you stay right on that mic. These are like ice cream cones, these mic. You got to be right on them so we don't want to miss a word of what you're saying. So we're going to get into it here right now, but before we do, I want to let's give the URL, let's let people know up front how they can contribute, get involved, and then I feel like if they're not already going to go to the website, they're going to hear your life story and be inspired to go learn more.
So they can go to operationsupply.org or vettober.org.
Okay.
Both of those right now, and you can click on the link. You can donate right on the front page. It says donate now, or you can join, and you can join the teams, and whatever way you want to help out, there's plenty of ways that you can help and contribute through our website, and you can find us on Twitter at OpSupplyDrop. So
great. So now I assume cash donations, but can I also contribute like games and systems and things as well?
Yes, most definitely. Right on there, when you go to donate, it'll ask if you want an in-kind donation, so a physical donation, and it'll give you the address to the warehouse that does all those, and you can send it right there.
Awesome. So you've been an Xbox gamer for a while. You're out on Twitter. You're posting almost every day. You're just a big gamer of all sorts. I saw you with your PSVR headset on recently. You picked that up, but I always see you getting super excited about the latest Xbox releases. Gears of War 4 being, of course, the most recent one. But I want to back up a little bit. Tell me about what motivated you to join the armed services.
So that's pretty easy. My family has a long history of serving in the military all the way back to the World Wars. And even before that, my Irish side of the house, they fought the British from when they were invading Ireland. So it's come a long lineage of protecting. And so I found it as my civic duty that I wanted to bring home my brothers and sisters back to their families, because I lost a good friend, and they passed away, rest their soul, but I really wanted to go and save more people because they spoke so highly of their corpsmen, and that was my calling, because I've always been in the medical field. I've always cared for people, and that is just a passion of mine, to care for people and take care.
So were you in the medical side in the Army, or which armed services? Actually, I actually don't know. I know you a little bit, but not. This is actually beneficial for me as well as the audience.
So I started out in the Air Force. And then I transitioned over to the U.S. Navy. Okay. So I was a Fleet Marine Force corpsman, served with the Marine Corps, and I was basically a green sign corpsman. So that means boots on the ground, and served right there with the Marine Corps.
Wow. So first of all, thank you, because I mean that's I don't think I think so many Americans probably just take your service for granted, or at least well, I don't want to phrase it that way, that we don't stop to think about what that really means, because my grandfather was at Pearl Harbor, but it's a couple of generations removed. I don't think about it that much, I'll be honest. So now you went in after 9/11, is that correct?
Right around the 9/11,
yeah.
yes.
So you were in Iraq, is that correct?
I deployed to Iraq. My last tour in Iraq was 2009, so that was I went with the Marine Corps over there. So, and we were doing the drawdown phase, but there was still things going on in Iraq, and the destruction was very evident, and the dangers were very real. So yeah, it was definitely one of those.
Now, I imagine the mental, the besides just the physical toll, the emotional toll of that, of just that, the high pressure. Obviously, it's the highest of high pressure situations. Is it that situation where there's just a lot of downtime, but then it spikes up instantaneously to the most dangerous of dangerous situations?
You could say that. I mean, I think that's a big, misconception because of media and television. People think, oh my gosh, there's combat constantly and everything else like that. But no, there's the conflicts and that stuff that's out there. It's usually short-lived, and once it's over, it's over, But people are always on high alert. I know I was always on high alert. I had a great commanding officer and leadership that trained us well and always kept us on our toes.
So you how long were you over there?
I was over there just over 6 months in Iraq. We had done some workups in Korea and everything else, and then we went over there shortly after Christmas, right around Christmas time, and and once we got there, it was very unique because our very first day, I'll never forget it. As soon as we arrived at base, the sirens went off for incoming enemy fire. It was one of those things that you're kind of like, huh? And they're just like, oh, they're at the front gate. They're taking care of them. So it was just one of those weird things. You just pull into base and then you hear that. And it's like, okay, hopefully this tour goes good,
So when you get there, obviously you've prepared, you've trained. You spoke of that a moment ago. But when you get there and those sirens go off, and like, do you sort of think about life entirely different? Does your sort of mental attitude towards everything just change when you have that experience over there?
I think it's safe to say that, yes, because I noticed I started not taking things for granted as much. I appreciated life much more, and especially being on the medical side and seeing the travesties and what happens from enemy fire, and just from the enemy, it puts your life into perspective to see how precious and how frivolous other stuff can be in general.
Well, and that then before we get to video games, speaking of frivolous, but you suffered a serious injury in Iraq, did you not?
I had, by my own ignorance, almost to say, I was not wearing my belt, or I did not have my helmet strapped properly because I was being a RT, basically a radio operator, and we took 2 mortar rounds that landed on the outside, and they had swerved, and it blew me. I guess I want to say it blew up, but it popped me up, and I came down on my head on the gunner stand, so it knocked me out. And that was, I feel stupid because I did that kind of to myself by not restraining myself,
So
but
your helmet came off in the air?
Yeah, and I hit my head on the M-wrap on the steel and that stuff. So, that's my own stupidity, as I like to call it, but that tells you how quickly things can go south, even if, you're prepared So yeah, definitely, I learned a great deal that there's rules and training for a reason. Yeah, so I mean, definitely those kind of things. And from those, the constant bumping up and down and that stuff, the body wears you down. And which, I had back surgery recently.
Yeah.
And, they said over time, because of that stuff, the back wore down and gave out. And so, we're just very happy that I'm here to be with you today. And
yeah, you're a young guy. You're
Yeah.
in your 30s. You're not. I mean, but it's you were almost probably you were probably one angle away from not being here at all. If your head had hit in a different place, I would have to guess.
Yeah, I don't remember most of all of it because I knocked myself out like an idiot. But I just it was good. I'm just happy I was able to continue on and able to push through. And I had lots of fun to say. People think that's kind of weird when you're over there serving and that stuff, but I had a lot of fun with my brothers.
You're
and
allowed
sisters.
to have fun.
Yeah,
it's the most serious job there is, really, but
Yeah.
it's okay to have fun, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys have video games over there, or over on your particular tour?
So we actually didn't have a bunch of game systems. There was one Xbox 360 someone brought over.
Yeah, because you said 2009 was
Yeah.
was it that time frame?
Yes.
2009.
So yeah, and I had a gaming laptop,
Yeah.
which I was playing Witcher 3 on because I was like, oh, pure high def.
Witcher 2 at that point, I think.
I was
right?
playing Witcher 1.
Witcher
at the
1,
time.
okay.
Yeah, Witcher 1, and that was my big thing. And my laptop was so huge. It was that monster 17-inch with all and I remember my XO, he's like, what are you bringing there? The whole kit and caboodle? And because I had this huge laptop bag with all my bags, and they
Probably
just,
a big brick charger with it too.
They're like, what the heck, And I was like, I gotta have my games, That was my downtime, so it was nice.
So when you get home
Mm-hmm.
and you've been through this, I mean, does your perspective change again from not only it changed when you got there and sort of saw the reality of what life is, what that situation was like, after you've been through that kind of experience on with the mortar and you get home, is life different again?
Life is different. I feel lucky and privileged that I got to come home. I know some of my other brothers and sisters carry deeper wounds and scars, the things that they dealt that was worse. And so I personally thankful that my situation's not as worse as theirs. So I don't take for granted what I have. I'm thankful every day I get to wake up. I get to step on free soil. I get to talk to people. I get to help people. And I know being able to actually enjoy life is something I appreciate far more than I did before I ever joined the service.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing I can take away from my service is that life isn't free, life is precious, and life is short.
So it brings us to video games. You come back because that's because you are retired now. Is that correct? Other than your work with Operation Supply Drop.
Right. I'm a full-time student, and I'm retired. I'm just enjoying life now, volunteering for Operation Supply Drop.
So you are active in the video game. Have you always been? You said you had there was a 360 at the base, but
Yes.
Have you always been an Xbox guy?
Actually, before Xbox, I was a huge Sega fan.
Yeah.
So I love Sega to death. I mean,
Dreamcast, Saturn, Genesis, going all the way.
All the way. I was day
Master
one.
System. You're a little young. You might be a little young for Master System. I'm a few years older than
yeah.
you, and even I'm
Yeah.
on the edge of Master System.
I got the garage sale edition.
Yeah.
But no, I got my Saturn day one and my Dreamcast day one, and so yeah, definitely some great systems ahead of their times and
Yes.
their elements, and but great vision, poorly executed, I guess. But yeah, I just really love Sega a whole lot back then.
So, do you play military first-person shooters, or do you just laugh at them and be like, no, that's dumb, that's ridiculous?
I play first-person shooters. I've played military ones. The closest one that comes to about as realistic as you can get is the Battlefield series. But since I've been out, I don't play a whole lot. Call of Duty, I might hop on with friends if they ask, and I've just disassociated myself with a lot of those now versus like Halo and Gears. Those are different to me because the realism factors, and I mean the Battlefield 1 opening, like I literally had to set down the controller. I was just like, wow, that took me back. You know, it was just kind of like, wow, that's surreal, almost like a Saving Private Ryan intro.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're very vocal in the Xbox community. You enjoy Xbox. That's what I like about you from having gotten to know you a little bit is you, and I assume it's your world perspective that sort of allows you to feel this way. You enjoy Xbox, you enjoy other games too, but you don't enjoy things at the expense of others. And that's what I think. Does when you're out there on social media, which we all are, do you just kind of like shake your head in disbelief at some of the let's say the quality or lack thereof of the discourse that's in the gaming community?
Very much so. I have caught myself just like, wow, seriously? You just look at it and it's like, there is things much greater going on in life than this tweet that someone put out, and you're just like, you're going to attack that tweet about someone or this game for this, or I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous. A thing that I've taken hold is Phil Spencer once said that, there's great games out there, there's no console wars or none of that stuff. Just let gamers be gamers, enjoy games, whatever platform you choose. There's great quality content on each. I've always taken that to heart because there's great quality content on any platform or anything that you want. And as being a gamer, first and foremost, you can't say, oh, only good content's on this one. You're losing out on great stories and great experiences on everything else. And that's why I found it funny, with the whole PSVR thing. And I was just like, hey, I'm excited. This is it's a new experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and that's kind of why I started doing, the docs, little snippets and that stuff to try to give a unbiased perspective, just a real perspective. And people always wonder, Doc, why do you do podcast and that stuff? And I took a break from podcast because it was getting really biased, these a
little too serious.
Yeah, a little too serious. There's no fun, and that's why when I came back to TXR podcast, and the fun was back. I was able to have that fun opinion. It wasn't just straight centric one. We're able to have fun, converse. It's games, It's like, let's have fun.
They're toys.
Yeah, exactly.
They're toys.
It's like my Tonka toy grew up to be this fun thing, and so let's just
to be totally interactive.
Exactly, and it's like I come home from a long day of work, or you just had a really bad day, and you're like, I just want to melt away. Let me delve into this wonderful story and just associate with these characters. It transport me. And, that's what it's about for me. And I know many gamers, they reach out and like, thank you, Doc, for that perspective. It's like, that's why I play games. I just want to have fun. I want to connect with my partner. I want to connect with my kids. And, we don't need the childish banter, the attacks, the verbal abuse, the racism. That stuff needs to go away between games, because games is a pure fun experience for us. And that's a huge issue with me, and I that's one thing that's plagued the communities, and that's why I started doing what I've been doing within the community, because I want to create positive change makers. I want change makers in the community.
So I feel like all of us could do well to even take a look at the Operation Supply Drop page, and even just looking at it might hopefully make people think. I think most of our audience are going to be good people. We weed out the bad ones. So I guess we can't stop anybody from listening to this, but even taking a look at the Operation Supply Drop page might just make somebody stop and think about, well, gee, maybe I shouldn't go, flame this guy on Twitter or in the IGN comments over some silly video game thing. When you have the perspective of, wait a second, there are veterans who have maybe they have physical injuries, maybe they have PTSD situation where maybe there are other, as you said, greater things in life where actually video games can be super helpful to people instead of being this strange, pardon the term, but war that these people, that some people take it as, right?
Right, and totally agree with you. And that's what I love about Operation Supply Drop, because it allows us that connection and enables us to have fun. And gaming is that catalyst. Gaming is so fun. It's pure.
Inclusive, right?
Yes, exactly. And, people, I hope they understand that we don't see systems and that whole thing. We see it just gaming.
Yes.
And as veterans, that we utilize gaming as, a way to connect with each other, to rehabilitate, and to further, our friendships and our lives on a personal journey.
Do you play stuff on Xbox Live or get together with fellow veterans?
All the time. That's a big thing I love doing, and that's one of our things at the local teams level. When we meet up, we exchange all our gamer tags and we just when we're at home, hey, let's play a game.
Yeah.
And while we're playing a game, hey, how you doing? Is everything okay? Is there something I can do to help you right now? It's just that connection, because that's where games has helped us fill that void. And because many veterans don't want to come outside their homes. So This is a great connection tool to ensure, because depression, PTSD, and all that stuff is a major issue. But games have allowed us to intervene in that avenue.
And now, just on the Xbox side specifically, you play everything, but you are definitely an Xbox fan. You've got the groups that are now built into Xbox Live, so you guys can utilize that, right?
Exactly, and we're looking to further that even more and build all across the world. Since we are an international organization for Operation Supply Drop, now we can connect all the veterans, and this is going to lead in for us actually help with our esports that's launching next year. So I'm veterans-based thing, so we'll be able to have tournaments now, and so veterans and active duty military can actually feel a part of something special. That competitive nature that we have while we're in the service can continue in a different spectrum.
That's cool. Now I know, we know Phil listens, we know Mike Ibarra from the platform team listens, and Mike helped. I think you probably connect with Mike on Twitter, right?
Correct.
He helped build all the groups. It's his team. So I wonder if Mike even considered the awesome way that you and your fellow veterans are putting the Xbox Live groups feature to use. So, Mike, I want you to reach out to Jeff and see if there's any way that you guys can tweak groups further to better serve veterans, because I just think that's an awesome thing that you're doing with that, using games not only to sort of solidify friendships, but as you say, to help each other out, just to check in on each other and sort of have a stress-free shared experience like a game can provide.
Exactly, and kudos to Mike and his team. I know they worked tirelessly on this, and I was very excited when they announced it. And I really went to the think tank on, and then we all started brainstorming in the teams and the organization, just how we could utilize different functions. And I'm just really excited that, the gaming is moving in a very positive direction for everyone.
Yeah.
So.
So we'll wrap up. What are you playing right now?
So I just downloaded Battlefield 1. I just finished Gears of War 4.
Yep.
Epic.
We're gonna do it's gonna be the end of this episode will be our spoiler cast. So if you haven't finished it yet, you can just stop when we get to it. Non-spoiler, what did you think of Gears 4?
It helped a lot. And it moved me To be honest, I was moved by the story and it's,
The bridging of the Gears
Yes,
generations.
exactly.
I thought
and
they handled it so well.
Exactly.
Coalition did a wonderful job.
Yeah, and it was beautiful, and I played it on Xbox Play Anywhere, so I played it on my PC.
Yeah, I saw you got a pretty sweet PC gaming setup, so you had it dialed up.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's really good on PC. Like,
Yes.
Forza had a little trouble out of the gate on PC, and Recore and Quantum Break actually, been a little bumpy on PC out of the gate. But boy, Gears right out of the gate is pretty sick on PC.
Yeah, it was spectacular. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, just breathtaking. I'm like, that's the way to do 4K.
What is Jeff Bartram's game of the year so far? If we cut 2016 off today and say that's it.
It's gonna be Gears of War 4 right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's my game of the year right now.
It's a solid choice.
Yeah.
We got to get some Horde going.
I just hit 10, so
Nice.
round 10, and then I quit.
It can go on for a couple hours, as
Exactly.
you know. Like I made it to wave. I was doing I think it was like wave 43 or something, and I looked at like, oh my god, it's been 2.5 hours, but you don't even realize it.
Exactly.
It just goes right by. All right, so OperationSupplyDrop.org.
Correct.
Vettober, VETOBER. Is that correct? Is
Correct.
October sort of a particular month of significance?
Yes, it's our main fundraising month. We're trying to hit our goal of 250,000, and so we can continue doing our mission for the next year to help veterans.
And that's a
And
worldwide goal.
Exactly.
One big 250K goal.
Correct.
So we go on the website. We can donate money very easily.
Correct.
There's a warehouse address if we want to mail. Are 360 games helpful? Maybe if I've sort of moved on to Xbox One and I've got a stack of 360 games, are those still useful?
Very
or do you
much
want...
so.
Yeah?
Very much so. Just send them in, and I mean, streamers, they love to help out too. We have streamers that love to stream and raise money for us too. So yeah, that's on the website as well.
Controllers, probably.
Yes,
Any
controllers.
Systems. Maybe you had 2 Xbox 360s. Maybe one was in your living room, one was in a bedroom. We can send those in.
There's a whole list on
Whole
the
list.
website
Okay, great.
that we're in need of, and so just go right down that list. Anything on there, go ahead and send in.
That's great. I mean, we don't ask the unlocked audience for a lot. I mean, you guys are good people. I want you to at least go to the website, OperationSupplyDrop.org. Take a look, see if you might want to help out in some way or another. Jeff, I just personally appreciate you. I think I see you as the right kind of video game fan and the right kind of Xbox fan. Again, most of this audience is great. But being out on social media, particularly when, hey, I work at IGN, so it's a big site, and I hear and get tweeted a lot of things at me,
Right.
some of which make me want to hit the mute or the block button, and I just appreciate your attitude towards things. I mean, you have a perspective that not many of us have because of your life experiences, and it's just when I talk to you, when I see your tweets, it reminds me that, oh yeah, like. These are video games. These are toys. It's fun to be excited about toys, but maybe we don't have to all take them so seriously all the time because they are toys. They are entertainment products that anybody. It doesn't matter what plastic toy box they're on.
Exactly, and I mean, people work hard on these, and so
Yeah.
you always got to think there's other people behind it that actually poured many hours of their life and separated from their families to create these. The family time was lost just to create this experience. So
That's a great
always
point.
in the back of the mind. It's like, okay, that's how I look at everything objectively. It's like someone sacrificed a lot to make this.
That's a great point. I mean, we talk about that in the office sometimes of, I'll use No Man's Sky as just a recent, very high-profile example, not an Xbox game, obviously, but 12 or so people spent 4 years of their lives figuratively bleeding
Right.
for that game, and then for it to come out and okay, it may not be perfect and it may not quite have lived up to the idea that people had in their heads, but for some of the vitriol to be what it is, and people invested. You work hard for 4 years, and then some inconsiderate person on Twitter or a message board is just like, I hope all of these guys lose their jobs. Like, no, that's not okay.
No.
That's not the right way to enjoy games. So
No.
I appreciate you leading by example, and I appreciate your service, and I appreciate what you're doing with Operation Supply Drop. And I just think you're a positive voice and a positive example in the community. And I thank you for coming up here. You made a trip up here. I know you've got some other promotional tour spots to hit. You're gonna be visiting Machinima and some other game outlets. So just thank you so much for coming. It's great this is the first time you and I have met in person.
Yes.
So this is a treat for me. Jeff, thank you so much. And again, OperationSupplyDrop.org or Vettober. Is that .org as well?
Correct, yes.
Vettober.org. Just pick one, go there, take a look, see if you can help. And we'll be right back with the rest of Unlocked right after this. All right, Gears Spoilercast. Turn back now. Turn the show off if you haven't finished Gears 4 or just whatever. Listen to the spoilers. You've been warned.
Yeah.
So, we love the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love the heck out of it.
Marty and I were kind of on the same page, and it seems like a lot of other people in the office as well, where the first, 2 acts, I was like, I don't know if I like this. And then it got to, a partway through 3, and I was like, oh, I love
Yeah.
this!
I really liked the prologue stuff of how they
prologue was
kind
very
of
cool.
walked you back through
Yeah.
the first 3 games, but from a different perspective. I really appreciated
Yeah.
that. Where if you're a new player, it sort of helps ground you a little bit. But if you're a returning Gears fan,
like, oh,
it
this
gives
is
you
the-
something new as well.
You get to play as a Carmine.
I thought the prologue was awesome. Part of my complaints with the early parts were, the city that you're in, that settlement city.
Yeah.
There's no one in it. I would have just liked to have more world building. It was like I was just shooting
Yeah,
the same enemies
that's
over
fair.
and over. So it was like, this feels repetitive already. I don't like it. But then when it gets to the point where
I mean, it's pretty much when Marcus
when you
enters.
get Marcus back, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
is where I started. Well,
Yeah.
no, you're right, because also Marcus's house was really cool.
Yeah.
But it was just a lot of the start was you just shooting the same
Yeah.
stuff repeatedly.
I mean, I really love the symmetry of the story, where you sort of start in a robo-town, and then you go to a dark chase with wind things,
Yeah.
and then you have to go literally down into a pit
Yeah.
to get Marcus, and then afterwards you
Come back
literally
up.
get out of the pit, you do another dark thing with wind, and then you're in a sunny town at the end of the game.
That's totally
I'm
true, yeah.
totally feeling
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I was so happy that Marcus was in most of the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
John DiMaggio's great. That character is great. Although we said it over and over. At least I did. I wasn't impressed, or I wasn't blown away with the original E3 reveal.
Same.
Yep.
And I wasn't feeling these new characters. But after playing the game, I love them.
I definitely-
love Del and JD
Yeah.
and
And
Kate.
Kate.
I think their dynamic is great. I love their sort of. Some people didn't like the humor at all. I loved it.
I think
It
it got
grew on
better.
me,
Like
yeah.
everything in the game,
There was
I think
stuff that
everything gets better.
I agree. There was
Yeah.
stuff that I really didn't like, which was I could guess what the joke was before the joke happened.
Yeah.
And that annoyed me. It was stuff like, Kate was like, how are you going to do that? And then Marcus just holds up a grenade. And then she's like, oh, yeah, I guess that works. And it was like, obviously she was going
Right.
to say that. I hate that. And there's one part where she's like, wow, this museum sucks. So, they're walking through this decrepit thing. And it's like, you're just don't. But then I think it got better. I laughed really hard at the rock, paper, scissors joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
That's
was
really good.
yeah, but to you it's rock, paper, paper. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah.
And there was stuff in the later parts that
The
I found
ongoing
really funny.
irony thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ongoing
yeah.
jokes,
Yeah.
That's
Now
not
that-
ironic.
yeah, that
No,
is
that's
ironic.
Actually ironic. Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
but-
and I really liked how JD and Kate's relationship is so subtle. It's
Yes.
like they are dating, but that's neither here nor there, because this is about saving your father and mother
Yeah.
and trying to save the world.
which is very similar to Marcus and Anya.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, they're dating, but no one really comments on it. It's
Yeah.
just kind of there.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
You don't want a romantic story out of Gears of War, I don't think.
I was so relieved that Marcus didn't die.
I was so worried that he would.
They did a good. I was too.
I mean, because they literally have death animation. He's there dead.
I know, and
Yeah.
they did a good
that
job of
part
selling it.
freaked me out, man.
Where I was just like, well, my honest thought when you find him, when you pull him out of the pod, I was like, they can't kill off Marcus Phoenix like this.
Yeah.
Yes, that was my thing.
It
was
can't. It can't happen
You
this
don't
way.
have Marcus Phoenix, war hero, on his back just with his mouth open and his eyes open, just laying there. It was like, that is not the way he died.
I mean, Dom took one for the team
Yes.
and
Yeah.
sacrificed himself.
In this trilogy, Marcus is absolutely going to die. That's going to happen.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
we are not.
We are in the next.
No.
On this
going to
generation of consoles, we are going to witness the death of Marcus Phoenix.
I absolutely think that.
What, is Master Chief gonna die too?
That's different.
that's different because he'll die, and then we could play as everyone's favorite character, Locke.
Shh! No! No! You stop that!
I think Marcus is gonna die, but it has to happen in a dumb kind of way. But I also think that in a dumb kind of way just made me think of dominant.
I don't want him to die in
Dumps
some
and stomps.
submissive way. I want him to die in a dominant way.
But
it
Nintendo
was
Switch.
kind of
The-
a submissive thing
Yeah.
where he's just
yeah,
lying
it
on the
was.
ground.
The coughing part though, I feel like he's infected.
The thought crossed my mind.
So for the rest of the game, he sort of has these moments where he's like hacking up blood. And,
You know, it only
yeah.
happens twice, which I have to credit them for because it wasn't like super blatant. They didn't make it really
like, hit you over the head
expositional.
with it.
Yeah, it was just like, ooh,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Yeah, so that's
like, oh, let's get to the.
the three big things that I think are going to continue on to Gears 5 are that that moment where you have the sort of or the little spike go through the DB, and then the
Yeah,
DB.
because that only happened
Oh,
once.
yeah.
And then, and then it gets infected, and so you're like, okay, we're going to be seeing swarm DB hybrids,
Yeah.
I think. Because we get that glimpse of only once in the last act, you come upon a fight where the DBs are fighting the swarm.
Yep.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I hope this is the rest of the act. And it wasn't.
What did you do there, Ryan? Marty and I both waited.
We literally didn't do
waited
it.
it. Because I was like, I had my gun up, and I was like, oh wait, they're fighting each other.
Yeah, I was in cover. I'm like, until anyone notices me,
Put my
I'm not going to
gun
do
down.
it
anything.
took a while,
which was
and then
awesome.
a Guardian noticed me. I
Which
think,
was
so
super cool.
It was really cool.
And then obviously finally that final shot, which is super cool. I bet 10% of people understood what that was, honestly.
So I'm gonna make a confession. I'm like, I think that's the locust symbol, but I had to go online and double check. I literally Google image search locust, Gears of War locust
Yeah.
icon or something. I was like, okay, it was.
I didn't guess that.
My
Like,
memory's not that bad.
Oh no, I totally didn't.
I feel like
I
I
didn't see that
predict
coming.
stuff a lot, and then I get really disappointed. I
Yeah.
had no clue. It was like, well, obviously they've taken Reyna for some reason, but I never pieced together that it could be Locust Queen.
So yeah, so Kate is the Locust Queen's granddaughter.
Yes. So now I'm
That's
thinking
messed up.
that the Swarm are going to be chasing her.
Oh yeah,
And I wonder what
They
it
need
is
their
about
queen back.
that
Bloodline.
line, but it's the theory is that I don't know if this has ever been confirmed that the woman who became the Locust Queen was originally like
Mira,
What's
right?
her Mira?
yeah, but she was a geologist. She was a human, and then she was basically turned into a locust. And maybe it's just something about that family that means that they are compatible with that, like a blood type. Like I don't know how that works.
Hey, Kate. Probably shouldn't mention that my dad, Marcus over there, killed your mom. Your grandma.
She's not necessarily dead.
Mira?
Yeah,
What?
he stabbed her.
Yeah, people,
She's
that's
pretty
what-
dead.
I think she's real dead.
I think
Super
she's
dead.
dead,
I
but
think
it
she's
wasn't like
dead.
100%. It wasn't like dome levels of confirmed. She didn't blow up in a giant
Dom
emulsion
levels of
explosion.
How
You need to
confirmed?
stop saying
Maria
dome.
levels of confirmed.
Yeah,
versus-
Maria levels of confirmed.
Dust in
She's
the wind.
real dead.
Uh,
What else
Yeah,
is there?
so-
Oh, Anya. We need to hear more about Anya.
well, I missed the first time through at Marcus's house.
Yeah.
I
missed that
missed the
cutscene.
gate
So
Mm-hmm.
where you could go in.
I missed that 3 times.
So yeah, you can go before you go into the house and actually see Marcus. You can go into a gate and you get to a grave, and there's a short scene where JD wipes the leaves off a grave, and it's Anya's grave.
Yeah.
You should have a very quiet moment there.
Yeah, it was a good scene too.
Yeah.
When I watched it on IGN's wiki.
Yeah,
Yeah. But they didn't really touch on what happened to her.
which I think is fine. We were talking about this. You didn't like that, and I think it's fine because I bet this happened a long time ago, and you wouldn't talk about it.
Right.
Like you complained about in Telltale's Batman game about how they keep bringing up the fact that Bruce's parents died when he was a kid. And you're like, no one would bring this up 20 years later.
I just want to know once. Like, even if it had been in a flashback.
But-
like, I want to know
and-
how she died.
I mean, that's fair.
It's a
I mean, I
character I'm
wonder.
invested
So Marcus hadn't seen Cole or Baird
Yeah.
in a long time. By at least that's what I infer from when they reunite. And I wonder if that's Mark, if it's sort of a I hate to invoke this film because I hate it so much, but Dark Knight Rises thing where when the love of his life dies, he just
Becomes a
Marcus is like,
recluse. Oh,
forget
totally.
it. I'm just retreating to
Yeah.
my house and I'm never coming
I
out.
think that is 100% that.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's also a really good if
He
you
obviously
trigger
still
that.
has a relationship with Bed, though.
Pardon me?
He obviously still has some level of a
Yeah,
relationship.
and they're fine. Like,
Yeah.
but it seems like he probably just
Wanted to be alone.
retreated.
And there's a line of dialogue that if you see the Anya cutscene when Marcus and JD are talking, they say something about the grave, and Marcus is like,
JD, Marcus is like, when was the last time that you visited? Or JD was like, when was the last time you went to Anya's grave? And Marcus is like,
every
yesterday,
morning.
and the day before
For-
that,
yeah.
and the day before that.
Which I think
And,
is
like
really
have a
good.
little fight about it.
Yeah.
Which is super cute.
I really liked the I love the fact that the game, for all intents and purposes, the boss of the game is the Swarmak fight at the end of Act 4. And that so much of Act 5 is a power trip.
I was talking to Mitch about this.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
I think we were talking about it as well.
Yeah, how it's like the opposite of Quantum Break, right? Like we've spoken about that before, how the last act of that is just very, very hard and annoying.
Yeah.
Because they just made it so difficult.
Yeah, we're about out of time, but yeah, like I couldn't agree more. Like I've seen it time. I'm not a game designer, but I get annoyed time and again in what I consider to just be a trope of, okay, well, I don't know how to end my campaign here, like gameplay wise.
So I'm just gonna make something real hard.
I'm gonna make you run the gauntlet of everything you've already done, but like more of it and harder. I don't like that game design.
I don't like it
I like.
They even do that in Skylanders, man. They do that in Skylanders.
Yeah, I like the fact that Gears 4, it just you're right. It kind of peaked like if you beat that Swarmak.
Yeah.
It was
That
from
was the
there.
final
It was
boss
just
fight.
like, all right, now we're gonna make you super powerful, put you in this giant mech, and you're just gonna wreck shit for the rest of the
You're
game.
gonna rip off the helicopter propellers and fucking
use it?
kill something with it. Like it was so
It reminded
good.
me, it's like Super Metroid when you get that beam at the end and you're like,
Yes.
all right, this is good. You can murder everything you want
Yes.
for the rest of the game. And I'm like,
But
oh,
I
that's
feel
great.
like I was just smiling that entire thing.
Games are fun, and I like when you're rewarded for at the end of a game.
The
Like
Swarmak
you made
fight
it,
was long
here we
and tough.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I beat it, and they're like, all right, here you go.
Yeah.
And you
that
get
was-
reunited
like-
with the old crew,
And
the old
parts in that
hogs.
level where they had the cover that moved because it was on chains.
That was really cool.
That was
I thought that
Yes.
was cool. The chains that would go up
Yes.
and down
Yeah.
that you were using as cover.
I could talk about
Absolutely.
this for a really long
Yeah.
time. It sucks that today's so tight.
so Gears 5, so Marcus dies, yes or no?
In
Gears
5?
In 5.
I don't know. I kind of think 6.
I think 5.
Okay, I'm gonna throw another one out. So no, no is what maybe totally undecided. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. Next question. Gears 5, will there be significant amounts of gameplay with one or more members of Delta Squad? Will Cole and Baird, was their cameo in Gears of War 4, or are we going to see more of them in 5?
I think we'll probably see more of them.
I
I
think
don't
it's
think
going-
dramatically more though.
I think it's going to be a Chief Lock thing where there are almost 2 intersecting stories in the next game.
That'd be cool.
That would be
Okay,
really
and they're
cool.
going to be weaving in and
Because
out, but they're going to be characters
Remember,
are going to be split in half.
Cole says in this brief time in 4, he was like, man, I like kind of miss
Miss
these
this,
guys.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I miss the Locust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would hope that Cole and Baird are
Yeah.
going to be back
Did you
for more.
notice the names of the mechs? What is it? Jack Jr. and Betty
Betty,
too.
yeah,
Yes.
that was really
Love that
cute.
so much.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And as everybody predicted instantaneously, DB's totally stood for Damon
there.
Baird the
I
whole
didn't,
time.
I didn't guess that at all.
I'm just an idiot when it comes to guessing things while I'm experiencing something, but that totally, I was like,
Oh,
oh,
I had no
David
idea
Baird,
when I
that's
found
great.
it. I was like, that's so smart.
I was not expecting Baird to be a bald guy with a goatee, like a nightclub bouncer.
Yeah.
that was
But I
kind of
really
weird
like
to see.
the conflict between
25 years
Baird
is a
and
long
JD. I like that a lot because
Yes.
JD totally has reason to hate Baird. He made the DBs that are killing all of his friends
Yeah.
effectively. It's
Yeah.
like I like that. It's good.
So we all loved it.
Dude,
Yes.
it is,
That-
the Force Awakens thing is 100%. That is
It
such
is
an apt comparison.
Just such a. I mean, I loved Halo 4. I loved how 343 sort of took the mantle and made 4 a sort of very personal Master Chief story, and then I absolutely hated the story.
Yeah.
The story of Halo 5. I really think Coalition deserves a lot of credit for how they've carried on and move the universe, the story forward, while also sort of keeping one arm around our old friends
Yeah.
and these
I feel
characters.
like they kind of played it safe, but I'm fine with that actually.
Again,
For now.
Like Force Awakens. Yeah, yeah.
For now.
Also, it should be mentioned that multiplayer is awesome and
it's
works
so good,
very,
yeah.
very well.
Yep,
And I
right
think
out the gate.
Horde is a lot easier than it was the first time that I played it.
Pump up the difficulty
Yeah,
level.
that's what I'm going to start doing.
That's all you got to do.
But I think Horde is still at its best
Horde's-
in this game.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I also adore the fact that the story was only like 7 hours.
Yeah, it was
It
really
never
good.
outstayed its welcome. Like
Yeah,
it ended.
it was
I
very
like,
well
I feel
paced.
great right now.
Yep.
Very, very well paced.
Also,
You were
Oscar's
never-
still alive in the stinger.
Yes, you were
Yes.
never doing anything for too long.
Yeah.
They really kept the variety, and that I think is such a key to good shooter
Good
gameplay
campaign.
Yeah.
design. I
Yeah.
really, really do.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's up there. It's one of my favorite games of the year.
Yeah, me too.
great job,
Achievements suck.
Coalition.
Yep.
Should
We'll
give me
be-
more achievements for finishing a single player.
We'll be playing
120
multiplayer.
is ridiculous.
Be playing multiplayer for a while. So hope you enjoyed the semi-brief spoiler cast. We hit on everything.
We'll be talking about this more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming
I'm
year.
going to keep playing it
Yeah.
for
Yes.
a month.
So thanks, everybody, and we will see you back for the rest of regular non-spoilery Podcast Unlocked next week.
Bye, guys.
Greets.